welcome. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is The Nation Wants to Know and I'm Heena Gambhir. Viewers, the entire world's attention is going to stay focused on the luxury hotel Serena in Islamabad, which has turned into a high-security diplomatic zone. The hotel management issued a notice on 8th of April asking guests to check out by 5 o'clock. The reason cited was that the government of Pakistan had requisitioned the property for an important event. Over 10,000 security personnel are on guard at the sealed red zone. A two-day public holiday has been declared. Now, this is ground zero for the most significant US-Iran meeting on 10th of April since 1979. Will the talks bring peace? That's the question. Because hours before the talks that could answer this question, there are in fact big question marks that have now emerged. There is a table for discussions, but will Iran be on that table? There is confusion. The US delegation is going to be led by Vice President J.D. Vance, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law. Now, many news outfits are reporting that Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf have already arrived in Islamabad, while Iranian state media outlets are reporting that no delegation has even left Tehran for Islamabad. So there is a lot of confusion even over the presence of stakeholders. Some experts are terming the confusion as strategy, Iran's leverage. They say Iran has prepared grounds to walk out if things don't work out. So there is an Iranian plan B with no clarity on what's plan A. Next, if the Iranians do reach the table, can the world really expect a solution? Now, Israel is a US ally in the Trump's operation against Iran, but it is not on the negotiation table. Pakistan's Defense Minister Khwaja Asif called Israel a cancerous state and deleted that particular post. Israeli PM's office said Pakistan's call for Israel's annihilation is outrageous. Now, this comes after terms of engagement got completely messed up. Pakistan was the go-between, the mediator. So this meeting, if it happens, will start with the shadow of a breakdown right after the ceasefire was announced. Iran struck across the Gulf and Israel launched one of its most intense strikes on Lebanon. Hostilities became the bargaining chips. Now the question is, how will the two sides align and find a common ground? So tonight we are asking, can the world waiting to exhale expect some good news from Pakistan when the terms of engagement have already been blurred by the arbiter? When the arbiter's neutrality is suspect, when the arbiter is trying to broker peace over two players who have built fortresses of suspicion for decades altogether. And to discuss it, I'm joined on the broadcast by my guests. We have Narendra Reddy, ex-Republican candidate, Georgia State Assembly, Neeraj A. Sharma, who is an international relations expert, Kamar Agha, foreign affairs expert, Dr. Atikur Rahman, professor, international relations. Good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Nation Wants to Know this evening. Before I start the discussion with you, let's listen in to what US Vice President J.D. Vance has to say.
We're looking forward to the negotiation. I think it's going to be positive. We'll, of course, see. As the President of the United States said, if the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we're certainly willing to extend the open hand. If they're going to try to play us, then they're going to find that the negotiating team is not that receptive. So we're going to try to have a positive negotiation. The President has gave us some pretty clear guidelines, and we're going to see. So I hope you guys have a safe flight. We'll certainly take some questions later on. But for now, let's get on the plane and hit the road. Thank you all.
So this was the reaction we got from US Vice President, who is leading the delegations from the United States of America. Let me now go across to my guests and open up this debate. Dr. Atikur Rahman, the question really is, can somebody who's trying to mediate, who's trying to give a platform for peace talks, actually be seen taking sides? That's question number one. Question number two is, where is Iranian delegation? We haven't really heard anything from Iran yet. Is somebody coming or not?
Yeah, definitely people are coming. Definitely, if Pakistan has provided a negotiation table, going to play a role of the mediator, definitely it is based on some confirmation from the both sides. So wait and see. Definitely, the Iranian leaders will come, and this event is going to produce the desired positive outcomes. On the other hand, definitely, when there is such big event is going to take place for a big change, definitely there is a very small room for some misinformation. I would not say disinformation, some misinformation. So
Misinformation. What
definitely,
exactly are
yeah,
you
yeah.
talking about? Could you elaborate for our viewers?
Definitely, when there is a country going to host a big event, definitely there is a little room for debate, for discussion. It witness some critical argument, definitely.
Hmm.
So I do not refuse the significance of those arguments. But as the academician, I must say it happens. It happens in such bigger talks. It happens. So
Okay.
we should not emphasize on
Okay, I think
these
there's some problem
I
with the
mean
audio line out there. We'll quickly try and fix that for our viewers. But Neeraj Sharma, how will you like to respond? Because there is still a lot of confusion. Do you think Iran is actually going to join the talks, or do you think it's some kind of a strategy to avoid any kind of misadventure by Israel that, there's no official word coming in from Iranian side as to who is going to be leading the delegation, whether Iran is going to be on the table or not?
I think Iran is very upset with the attack on Lebanon by Israel. And adding fuel to fire was a statement by the Pakistan's defense minister saying that Israel is evil and curse for humanity. I think Pakistan itself has broken the table on which the participants were supposed to come and meet. And on a fractured table, trying to get people together is difficult. And why is Pakistan doing it? Now we need to understand that because Pakistan borders with Iran. The Shia population, there is a huge number of Shia population in Iran, in Pakistan. Pakistan is desperate to remain relevant in the global scenario. And we also know that probably China also is playing a part in it. So I feel that it is going to be very difficult especially after the damage that the defense minister has done. And it has triggered a backlash by Benjamin Netanyahu, who has called the remarks as outrageous. So I think that the hosting nation should have first set his house in order and then look at brokering the deal. There is a lot of difference between brokerage and mediation. I think they need to have the elementary understanding of what is brokering and what is mediation.
Dr. Atikur Rahman, will you like to respond? Is it for Pakistan, to just stay relevant somehow? Because we all have seen how Pak brokered ceasefire also derailed within hours, and questions were raised on the understanding.
Yeah. Neeraj Sharma, I respect your opinion, but with little objection. I mean, calling someone desperate, that could reflect your way of looking at the word, but that could not be treated as an impartial and the logical argument. So a nation is inviting the leaders and with the consent of the leaders. I mean, I'm referring toward the United States. Definitely, when their official
Dr.
accounts
Atikur
and their
Rahman, the
official,
intention might be good.
official
The intention
statements.
might be good. One second, Dr. Atikur Rahman, the intention might be good. But then what justifies the post that was put out by Khwaja Asif?
Definitely, I do not negate that post, but I must say that we should wait that deals with his personal account. If our minister is posting something, definitely he would be having some logic behind it, or whatever logic. I'm not saying, and I'm
Okay.
not giving the
Narendra
clarification.
Reddy,
And
the
let's
question
wait and
is,
see
can a
what he
mediator
responds.
be partisan? I mean, is it not then raising questions on, the neutrality?
Neutrality is totally questionable in this thing. The stage that the neutral, it's not a neutral place. In the past, whenever these kind of situations occurred, countries like Norway and the Scandinavian countries used to host these talks. But Pakistan is a wrong place at this time. And the other thing is, there is no particular agenda for this meeting. I didn't see anything. The totally U.S. administration agenda is different from Iran agenda. So I don't know what are they going to discuss. I'm very pessimistic of it.
Okay. Kamar Ragha, where do you stand? I mean, what are you expecting? Because even Israel is not part of the talks. Israel is an important player as far as this war is concerned.
Yeah, that is very important. The problem is, first the Iranian wanted to talk to American and then maybe, indirect talk with Israel. The Iranian doesn't want to have a direct talk with the Israelis. Second thing, as far as Pakistan is concerned, there is a trust deficit between Iran and Pakistan. You see, there are two major or very militant organizations based in Pakistan, Sipah Sahaba and Lashkar-e-Jhangvi. They are responsible for a number of militant attacks, inside Iran, as well as, they have targeted thousands of Shias within Pakistan. In fact, just a couple of months or 3 months back, they have killed, I think, about 80, 90 Shias in a Shia mosque there. So trust deficit is there. And these two organizations were backed by the, Pakistan, of course, denies, but the army was behind all these organizations. Secondly, Pakistan has very close ties with the, it's many believe, in Iran also, it's all become a client state of United States. And secondly, the Pakistan has very close ties with Saudi Arabia as well as Americans. So these are the concerns with Iranians have towards Pakistan. And the other things, this is the meeting, if it takes place, I think the agenda will be set, and then Iranian would insist to move it to some other place, some other location. Their preference is Oman or Geneva, where earlier talks have taken place.
Why are we then seeing what is really happening in Pakistan?
No, because Americans have insisted, so they will go there. First meeting is their agenda would be set, Pakistan is the neighbor, very difficult ties they have, with Iranians are having with Pakistan, very love and hate relationship. Number of diplomats were also killed by these two organizations earlier, in Afghanistan. Then, Iran also, was part of an part of a coalition in Afghanistan. The Northern Alliance at that time, the Pakistanis were backing the militant group. Talibans were backing. So a lot of problems they faced. But since it's a neighbor and they have a long border, so they don't want any conflict at the moment with Iran.
Okay.
Iranian doesn't want any conflict with the Pakistanis. They went ahead, but they will prefer. And secondly, Pakistan has no experience in dealing with this type of negotiations. Their experience is totally different. They were trained to help develop militant groups which are operating in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, or most of the countries, all over the world, we know. But as far as peacemaking or peace development, this type of a negotiation, they have no experience.
Right.
So I'm sure they will, Iranian would prefer to move out from Pakistan and go to some other country.
Dr. Atikur Rahman, it's not just Kamar Agha, but there are several other experts also, and also from the United States of America, who are mocking Pakistan today because of what Pakistan really is known for, Terroristan, and how Pakistan is trying to play the role of a peace broker here, a mediator here.
Yes, in this way, sorry. In this bit, you should not ignore the history of Pakistan in South Asia. We are the one who proposed the South Asian nuclear weapon free zone in the United Nations very openly. So that is sufficient to maintain that Pakistan is a peace-loving country. On the other hand, in the modern history,
country?
you can see the United States.
Peace-loving country? Did you say that? Did you say peace-loving country?
Yes.
Have you forgotten?
Yes, I said
Have you forgotten about Pahalgam? Today only we got
Are
a
you- are
shocking
you the-
statement.
are
One
you-
second, Dr.
are you the
Dr.
part of
Atikur
panel?
Rahman, today only we got a statement from a terrorist from Lashkar-e-Toiba that Pakistan has risen to this level only because of Pahalgam.
Yeah. Thank you so much for a nice question. Should I consider you the part of this panel or an impartial anchor of the program?
No, I am asking you a question, sir. My job is to one second, Dr. Atikur Rahman. My job is to ask questions. This was the news we broke in the afternoon today. And because you are trying to justify how Pakistan is a peace-loving country, I thought I should bring some facts on the table because it's very important for our viewers to understand what the reality is.
Yeah. In my country, the job of an anchor is also to let the panelists complete their point of view.
Please go ahead, Dr. Rahman.
I'm coming back.
Dr. Rahman, please go ahead.
It's okay. I'm coming back to the point. On the other hand, you say the United States itself provided under the war on terror, Pakistan, a frontline state in the war on terror, and we were the one who sacrificed a lot in the war on terror and clear to the world that we love peace. And the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan after that, Pakistan was the one who called the meeting of the international community to discuss the political stability and the societal prosperity of Afghanistan. So in this way, it is a glimpse of the Pakistan's effort for the peace. And recently, you could witness that President Trump, very rational president, very logical president in the world, but Pakistan, the government of Pakistan convinced him on the ceasefire. So that is a big achievement. The
ceasefire that could not even hold for a few hours, that derailed within hours. Neeraj Sharma wants to come in.
Heena, I think Professor is an expert in international affairs, and he's talking about Pakistan's influence in the Asian region. And the way he's defending, I think he's also looking to line up with the Shahbaz and Munir duo for the peace prize. But I don't think that's going to work. Pakistan needs to look at their backyard. I am being very, very neutral. I'm seeing what's been there in history and just trying to remind him about history, because international affairs is also my subject, that most of the attacks in Pakistan's borders initiated by the terrorist outfits of Pakistan. In fact, there are outfits which are on US's wanted list. And I'm surprised that, and you will be also surprised to see that the US Air Force is hovering around the entire Pakistan airspace. That itself speaks on how uncomfortable the people who are going to come on the table are. So I think Dr. Atikur Rahman needs to go back and first sit on the drawing board and see what is fundamentally wrong. Maybe look at, training people in Pakistan on how to, create mediations, how to create an architecture and ecosystem of mediations. Just coming on the panel and defending for no reason, I think doesn't work, because Israel right now, not just Iran, even Israel, I don't think has reached. It is just the US which is coming there. And we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. There is a possibility that the talks may not even happen. You may just see theatrics of Pakistan, and maybe you will see US on screen. But I don't see anything beyond that. And believe me, this is only going to be just one session. So there are going to be multiple meetings after that. So Pakistan need not jump to glory and say that they have created the truce in the region. There's going to be many more deliberations.
Narendra Reddy, the fact is we don't even know whether Iran is going to join these talks or not. There's no clarity on that aspect. And even if Iran joins the talks, if we do see an Iranian delegation taking part in these talks, where you will have a delegation from the US led by Vice President J.D. Vance, Iran, I'm sure, is not ready to walk out without a big victory. Will America be ready to provide that? That's the question that many are asking, because while everybody thought it's going to be very easy for Israel and US to attack Iran, but the kind of response Iran gave, I mean, that's got the entire world worried, because Iran got the GCC involved as well. So do you think it's going to be an extremely difficult day if Iran does join the conversation tomorrow?
First thing is America sent a high-powered delegation. That is, Vice President of America is involved. But question is, who is coming from Iran? Nobody knows. That is the biggest problem. And also, whatever delegation comes there from Iran, do they have the authority to agree or not agree on any agenda item? And the entire thing is started with a big mistake is the ground. The ground to negotiate is Pakistan, which is very, very inappropriate. Pakistan and peace doesn't go together. Second thing is Pakistan couldn't even negotiate with their own Baluchistan problems. These things goes on. But another thing you asked me is about whether anything is going to come out of it. What happens is in this one, particularly, there won't be any outcome. There will be many trips going to happen. The reason Pakistan got selected as a negotiator in this is because no European country offered, no Asian country offered to host any negotiations with Iran and America. Those are the things that we have to consider. I don't have much of a hope to come to any conclusion on this.
Okay. Kamar Agha, same question for you. If Iran joins the conversations that are supposed to happen tomorrow, the point is, will Israel really agree? Because like I said, Iran will not walk out of this meeting without achieving something big.
Iran wanted some assurance on Lebanon. They have repeatedly mentioning it, that Lebanon is also included in the peace talks, which Americans and Israelis both have denied. They said, no, Lebanon is another thing. And not only that, but Israelis started attacking South Lebanon. Yesterday, they killed more than 300 people, and still they are, targeting many places in South Lebanon. They wanted, the Palestinians to leave at least, from border to Litani River, that is almost 25 kilometers in between, where they are creating buffer zone. So Iran cannot, abandon Hezbollah, because Hezbollah is the one which has initiated its second round of attacks on Iran because of the killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. After that, joined. So Iran wanted some assurances, something, there are a number of countries, Egypt and Turkey, maybe Oman also. These are still, going between Americans and Iranians. Some sort of back channel talks are going on. I don't know about Pakistan, but these are the countries, which have some influence over America. They have relations with Turkey, has good ties with Israel also. So these are the players behind it, who are going forward and negotiating some sort of thing that is continuing. That is why, and secondly, they have not yet announced who is going to come, because many of their negotiators were killed by Israelis earlier, we have seen, So they would announce only at the last moment. Since Vice President is coming, so most probably Arakchi, the Abbas Arakchi, the foreign minister, would be coming there. He's a good negotiator. He was earlier also 2015 peace deal. He was part of that delegation. So he has experience, and he is also studied in United Kingdom, Britain. He's very well-read person and knows. He has understanding about Americans and dealing with the Americans.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, all of you gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us here on this discussion. Of course, we are going to be tracking the developments very, very closely as far as this crucial meeting is concerned. If at all it happens tomorrow, if at all Iran decides to send a delegation for talks to Islamabad in Pakistan. Thank you for joining us. Heading into a short.